Welcome back to my channel. So on today's video I'll be showing you how I made this skirt. If you haven't subscribed, please like, subscribe and share, and then if you already subscribed, thank you so much. Now let's start with the tutorial. Well, for this skirt I'll have two pieces of the front and then one pieces for the back. So here I have my pattern paper on fold. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just gonna make this line here. This line will be my starting point, and after that I'll be measuring all the vertical points from the line I made there. And for the vertical measurements, what I will do is I will start all the vertical measurements from 2 inches. So the 2 inches is for the waistband, so I'm just gonna start measuring from 2 inches. So from my waist to the hip measurement, it's 6 inches. So I made a point there. After making a point, I will then make a straight line, and I will also measure the full length of my skirt. Sorry, the bottom part was not showing. So from this line here, which is my waistline, I will take my waist circumference divided by 4 and also add extra 1 inch. And from there, what I will do is I will take my tape measure, come here on this line and mark my full hip circumference, divide by 4. So mine is 9 inches. And after that, I will just join these 2 points together. Now I will be marking my nipple to nipple measurement. Mine is 8 inches, so I'm going to divide the 8 inches by 2, which starts there where I measured 4 inches, and the extra half an inch on the sides for the darts. And then I will go down here by 3 inches. And that's it for the dart. So what I'm gonna do now is I will take the hip measurements here, which is 9, and then from the 9 I will just subtract 1 inch. So here's just to make a shape for my skirt. And after that I will join the 2 points together. And if you check here, I've already done it on the other side, so I will now just have to cut out. And now I will take my tape measure here, and then I will go down by half an inch, which is 0.5, and then I will join it to the line I have on the waist. Now the next thing that I will do is I'm just going to extend the lines I have here on my darts, and then after that I will take the front pattern paper. So I'm just going to be cutting out the back using the front pattern paper. So from this point here I'm just marking 2 inches. So the 2 inches is for the zipper allowance. So this will be the starting point. So I will take my front and then place it right here on this line I created. And after that I will just extend the hip point and the full length of my skirt. And then on this line here I will go down by 4 inches and then just make a mark. So now here I'll just trace out the side of my skirt like this. And well, for the back darts, what I will do is I will just start measuring from this point here. So I'm just going to be marking the nipple to nipple measurements the very same way I did with the front, but then on this line here I will go down by 3.5 inches. So on this line here I will go out by 1 inch, and then on this line here I will go out by 1.5 inch and make a point, and then on this point here I will go down 1 inch, and then also on the bottom part of the skirt I will go out by 1 inch. So I'm just gonna be showing you now. And then I will just join the points together. So here I'm just making the X's to just make sure that I don't get confused when I cut out, so I can know exactly where I need to cut. And I will cut 2 of these on my fabric. And now that I'm done with the back pattern, so I'm gonna take the front pattern and then I will go down by 2 inches from the hip line and then make a straight line. What I'm doing here is I'm just creating a curve for the front part of my skirt. So the curve here does not have any measurements, and after that I will cut out. And I'm also just going to cut out the lines I have here. So I'm just gonna make the X's so you can see where I'm gonna cut out. So the front will have a small curve on the waistline. And for this other part of the front, what I will do is I will just, from this point here, I will go down by 1 inch. I've marked 1 inch there, and then I will take it straight to the waist line. And after doing that, from this line here, I will go down by 2 inches. From here, I'll go down by 2 inches and then make a point. And after making a point, I will come here on the bottom part of my skirt. From the dart, I will just go in by 2 inches. And after that, I will join this point here with the point I created down there on the dart. And I'm just showing you how I'm cutting out. So I'm cutting on the middle line I have on the dart. And I'll also cut out this top part I have. And now what I will do is I'm just gonna be cutting out on my fabric. And here I've already cut out on my fabric, also including the half and seam for the sewing allowance. So I will start here on the first part of the front. I'll be inserting a bias right here. And then after inserting the bias, this is what I have. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna transfer the dots I have on the pattern paper. So I'm just gonna be creating the dots here. So this is the dots that I'm transferring from the pattern paper. And then now I will just sew in the dots. So after that, I will be cutting out the tying band. So I have about 24 inches long and then 5 inches wide right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna turn this over and then just make a stitch. And then while making a stitch, I will leave small space for me to be able to turn this inside out. And after that, I will also iron it. This is what I have. So I'm gonna move to the other part of the front. So this is what I have. And then on this pattern here, I won't be transferring any dart. So I'm just gonna be ignoring the darts. And then after ignoring the darts, I will just pin this part right here. So I'm just pinning it in a form of hemming. And this is what I have. Now I will come here on this other side, and then I will just place my tying band here, and then I will take a bias. This is a bias that I have here, and then I will open it this way, and then I will just place it here and then pin from here to the end part of the skirt. So after pinning, I'm going to make a stitch here on this line here, and then after making a stitch, I'll be able to turn over the bias to the other side. And this is it. So I'm just going to be showing you how I'm turning this over. So I'm just going to be turning this over like this. And after that, I will just make a stitch to secure this together. And this is what I have. So if you check here, I have the belt here secured under the bias. So the next thing for me to do is I will take the front part here, and then I will just mark down 1 inch, and then from the 1 inch, that's where I'm going to put this other wrapping belt here, wrapping band. And then I will just make a stitch there on the sides, and then I will take this other front part and place it right here. So I'm just gonna go down by 1/2 inch, and then I will just place it down here like this. So I'm just gonna stitch down and then make a stitch on the sides. And this is what I have. So I've done attaching the wrapping band and also the other sides of the front. So now I'll be working out on the back. So for the back part here, you see here I've already folded here on the pattern paper. That's what I'm going to do also on the fabric right here. So what I will do is I will just measure the exact measurement I have on the pattern paper, and also transfer the darts. And then while I'm sewing in the darts here, what I will do is I will also overlock the part where I'm going to insert the zipper. And this is what I have. So what I will do now is I will just turn this, and I will place the front part of the skirt right here, right side facing. So this is to just join the sides together. So I will pin down the sides, and then after pinning down the sides, then I will make a stitch. And this is it. I've joined the sides together. So what I will do is I'm just gonna be attaching the waistband. So for the waistband, I have 33 inches long and then 2 inches wide. So this is what I have. And now I'll be attaching the waistband to the skirt. So I'm just gonna open this part here, and then I'll just insert the skirt in here. And this is how the waistband attached looks. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna come on this side here where I'm going to insert the zipper. So what I will do is I'll just make a straight line here. So I'm just gonna be sewing here on the line where I have the crease. So I'm just gonna sew from the top part of the waist to the bottom part of the skirt. So this is it. I've closed in this part. So when I'm closing this in part, I used a loose stitch because I'm also going to cut out the threads to open up this part so I can be exposing the zipper. So I'm gonna take the zipper, and this is how I'm going to put the zipper. So I'm just aligning this part here with the line I have there on the skirt. And now what I will do is I'm just gonna make a stitch. I'm gonna sew this part here, and then I will turn and then go back up. And this is how it looks. So I'm just gonna be removing the pins, and then after removing the pins I'll be exposing the zipper right now. So I'm just gonna be cutting out the threads here in the middle part of the zipper, and when I cut out I'll be exposing the zipper. And this is it. So I can zip and unzip, as you can see. So the next part for me to do right now is to just hem the bottom part of the skirt, and that will be it for today's tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and share. I will see you on the next video.